Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dorothy. First, I would like you to take a look at this picture, and I wonder if you can notice something special. Okay, so you probably think it can be nothing but a normal presentation, right? But what if I tell you the setting is a digital form of the real world, which means everything you see is a combination of images? So, in the next 9 minutes, I will introduce you to this innovative CEO, Jensen Huang. And this is my outline. I divided my presentation into 4 parts. First is some basic personal background about him, and in the main discussion, I will demonstrate why Jensen is no doubt an influential CEO in the chip market, with his compassion for his employees and unknown dedication to education. I believe you will be stunned by his bold mindset about AI and will also bring back some takeaways. So, this is Jensen Huang. He has co-founded graphics chip maker NVIDIA in 1993 and has served as its CEO since the operation. He's actually a Taiwanese, but he moved to Thailand as a child, and his family later sent him to the US as civil war broke up in Thailand. After arriving in the US, Jensen was sent to a boarding school in rural Kentucky by his aunt and uncle, and it was because they mistook it for a prep school. Besides, one more interesting fact is that he used to work as a waiter when studying, which said helped him to overcome his shyness in the future. Now let's move on to our main discussion. I have 3 points to take you through the impact Jensen brought to both business and working culture. The first point is that he is one of the most technically savvy CEOs in the world. In 2003, Jensen directed his company NVIDIA to adapt chips designed to paint graphics on computer screens, which are known as graphics process units or GPUs. It was because he expected to perform more general-purpose computing tasks. Fortunately, this resulted in powerful chips, and he even laid a foundation that could accommodate much bigger neural networks. Also turned out to be the programs behind much of today's AI. During the process, he has helped enable a revolution that allows phones to answer questions out loud, farms to spray weeds but not crops, yet he has a lot more ideas waiting to be realized in the future. So, it was under his leadership, NVIDIA became a dominant force in computer gaming chips and has further expanded to design chips for data centers and autonomous cars. What Jensen told the reporters in GPU Technology Conference 21st can also support why he is a futurist. He said, every single edge device will be a data center. Every single car, truck, shuttle will be a data center. Actually, he suggested every single piece of edge device will be a data center in the next decade. Here are 2 of the products his company specializes in that can be taken as examples. This first picture presents Hyperion 9, and it is a computer for cars which can be expected to ship in 2026. According to Jensen, he said it can process twice the amount of sensor data compared to Hyperion 8. Here, speaking of Hyperion 8, Hyperion 8 computers will be used in Mercedes-Benz vehicles starting in 2024, and in vehicles by Jaguar Land Rover in the following year. Based on the information, NVIDIA has previously estimated about 10 million cars with Hyperion 8 computers will hit the road, and it can look forward to generating revenues from software updates to these autonomous vehicles. Another product that has already been on trend is Omniverse. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the idea that Facebook strives to design their metaverse. And the name Omniverse suggests to you that it is nearly identical to Metaverse. This is also the main focus in GPU Technology Conference 22, and it's a company's platform for building three-dimensional universes. Most of NVIDIA's GPUs, software, and AI models for graphical interfaces come together in Omniverse. So, in other words, it is the company's platform to deliver a three-dimensional version of the internet. NVIDIA is also exploring multiple Omniverse efforts underway, including the testing of robots virtually in a three-dimensional space, simulating global climate change using Earth 2, and a supercomputer being built. However, this picture tells us that, in the future, car designers can portray their thoughts through the software, and if they are certain about the feasibility, then they can put it into production. After speaking of the achievements Jensen's company finished, I'd like to direct your attention to his working style as a manager. Here I provide you with two parts. One is he established a flat management structure, just as his icon shows. Taking care of the company's employees is one of his top priorities, and employees of the company speak of him extremely positive, admire his work efficiency and ability to organize people around. So we can tell that Jensen's talent is expressed not only in the success of the current business, but also in building a flat management structure. Any employee has direct access to him personally. What's more, Jensen regularly hosts open events for employees, where he talks about the company's strategy and gives the opportunity to ask any questions. Another part is that he raised salaries and committed no layoffs to his employees. Ever since the breakout of COVID-19, the pandemic continues to limit many economies around the world, and companies are having to make decisions as to how to handle these uncertainties. Jensen understands the impact of this pandemic, so he didn't lay off anyone, but offered more money to the workforce. This tells us that he is truly empathetic for those who work for him, also noticing his company plays as a role model for others. Coming to the last point, he is not only a billionaire merely focusing on making profits, but is actually a generous supporter of education in both science and technology. He donated to construct buildings for the colleges he graduated from. He's given Stanford University $30 million for an engineering center and $5 million to Oregon Health and Science University for building cancer research labs. Other than that, he and his wife had also joined Melinda Gates, who is Bill Gates' ex-wife, in this organization called AI for All, a nonprofit organization aiming to promote diversity and education in the artificial intelligence field. Through these events, it's clear that he has put a great amount of effort into philanthropic work. To conclude, I have discussed 3 reasons why Jensen Huang has a global influence over both in the semiconductor market and leadership, which are that he is a technically CEO icon, an empathetic manager, and also a proactive philanthropist. There is one of his quotes that I love to share with you, which said, "Focus on problems that cannot be solved today at all." I really admire his achievements that he brought into the chips industry, and no doubt he will continue to perform breakthroughs in this field to make changes in our lives. I believe what we can learn from him is that he is never afraid of realizing his ideas, and he keeps renovating new machine models and expanding AI applications. Also, he's a humble person regardless of being in a leading place. So I think making himself available to people is another trait that we can learn from him. So this is the end of my presentation, and here are the references that I searched for information.
Right, thank you very much. Right, I think I really like the fact that I think Dorothy gave us a comprehensive coverage of the topic. I believe that after the presentation, you must have known about Jameson Huang a lot more. Okay, so now I think we're open to any question and comment again. So to ask questions or to make comments, you just need to turn on the mic. Yes, Austin.
I have one question.
Okay.
I'm wondering that if you mentioned that he doesn't lay off his employees, then how can he ensure their effectiveness, their work? Yes, their.
Okay. Based on the information that I've gathered, I gathered this piece of information from one of his human resources manager, and she tells everyone that this is Jensen Huang's decision about not to laying off anyone. And I think the people recruiting in this company is not just like a lower place of employees that only do repetitive tasks. These are the people that really can do a renovative or creative things in technology fields and AI fields. So I think they're really smart people, and smart people, I think, on a certain point, can take on the responsibility themselves. So their work performance don't have to be pushed by the manager or the CEO. And I think it's because their company culture build a sense of reliability and trust in each other. So I think Jensen's decision of not to laying off any one of his employees also builds even stronger relationship between he and his employees. Yeah, I hope this answers your questions.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. I think it's a very important question. And I think Dorothy also gave a very convincing answer. Good. So can we move on to the next question or comment?
Me. I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes, please.
What do you think is the most important factor in his success among all the chip makers like Intel or AMD, like among those companies? What's the most important thing that make Nvidia or his his company the most a competitive one?
Okay, so I know that this his company Nvidia is the biggest semiconductor company in the world, and I think the key factor is that he as the CEO he keeps on creating new ideas, and he's not afraid of putting these ideas into production. Like I've watched some of his keynotes, like the GPU technology conference videos before, and through the videos we can see that he really has a lot of ideas, and he not only provide these ideas, but ideas are actually underway. That which means that his employees are getting their way to make these things happen in the future. So, like I mentioned in the presentation, that he tries to produce Hyperion 9, the computer, and also the Omniverse, the things that related to metaverse, like the similar thing. And also another fact I think is that he not only focuses on one single product, but he expands into many other fields. Like he tries to apply these AI technologies into more fields as possible. I remember seeing one video. He said that the future he imagined is there's no single person in the company that does the work, which means that all the work can be like replaced by the machine or can be functioned by machine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. I think it's another really good question. All right, so do you have more questions or comments?
I would like to add.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So for there are lots of people can choose, and why you choose him? So what is the motivation for you to choose him?
Okay. To speak honestly, it's because some of the my prior priorities have been chosen by other presenters. So then I moved back to see what other people what's the other people that I have chosen, and I saw him. And at first, I think it's interesting to pick him because he's a Taiwanese, and I think it will be fruitful to know what these amazing Taiwanese do in the international stage. Like you can, I think before I prepare for the presentation, I cannot imagine how many work that he has committed in this company. And after gathering all those information, I really think he's the like recently the boldest people that I have seen, and I really admire his work. And also, it's a chance for me to know more about these technology products, as I am not really a person who is good at using this stuff. But so it takes a lot of a little effort for me to get to know these like words or phrases that he used in his products. But overall, I think it was really a fruitful journey to get to know more about this person, and I really think he deserved the title as the most influential innovators in Time 100. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Emily, for the question. Yeah, I think I also like the fact that I think Dorothy gave very detailed responses to all the questions. Before we continue, do you have any further questions or comments for Dorothy? Okay, yeah, I mean, so feel free. If you would like to speak, you just need to turn on the mic, all right? Okay, so I may just have a very simple question for Dorothy. I mean, I noticed his own dressing style. I think that's actually become a signature for him. Do you know why he's always dressed in the black leather jacket?
Oh, for this, sorry, I haven't done a research about why his dressing style is like that. I only noticed that maybe this technology tycoons in Silicon Valley all wears like that, like
Mm-hmm.
Steve Jobs or other people. They like to wear in plain and simple style, and I
Mm-hmm.
think this represents their work efficiency in their own job. Yeah, that's my um,
Mm-hmm.
that's my guess, and I don't know what the real answer is, but maybe I can check for the answers later. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think what you said is very likely. Okay, it's very good. Okay, let's give Dorothy some big hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next